So you're Nina?
Yes.
Okay.
I go by Nina on Facebook, but Raina is my name.
Raina?
Yes.
Oh. Wow, these are deep.
Squishy.
I never sit in these chairs. Can I get you anything? Coffee, water, tea? You're a stenographer? I'm fine. Thank you.
Court reporter is a little different.
What's the difference?
Stenographers use an actual stenography machine.
With like 5 keys.
Yeah. And this is, we use a laptop.
Really? And you can just type really fast?
Well, I use a shorthand program, but yeah, I type really fast.
There's programs for that?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
That's
actually they're pretty fantastic if you type a lot, regardless of what you do.
This is a whole thing I don't know anything about. I'm into cryptography and codes and stuff like that. And shorthand is just a code.
Yeah.
And I've never explored it at all.
Should, because it's actually really fantastic. I love it.
Can you
I have a
do
hard
it?
time texting sometimes because I'm trying to.
Can you do it in longhand?
Type in longhand?
No, like the shorthand. Like I know it can be written out.
Oh, do you mean like to read it back in shorthand, or?
Well, like you can do it on machines. You can type it in shorthand, but before that you had to like write it out in shorthand.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
No, okay, because that's like super archaic.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody really.
I don't know. I got a guy here who can write in Elvish, so.
I mean, what if it's
people get weird with languages.
Yeah.
So, are we waiting on Dan? Hey, Dan?
Who's grabbing me water?
Yeah, I know, but the fridge is right there. What's this on?
You might be, we're out of water in the fridge, and he's probably getting a glass for
Oh, he's doing it for reals. Cool, okay. I got a minute. So I am completely yours for a reasonable amount of time. I have a puzzle thing tonight, and I have a live show. So
yeah,
I won't keep you too long. Yeah. But you have me curious, you have me interested, you were open to a rational discussion, so I'm like, yeah, fuck it, why not? It'll be fun. But it'd be cool if Dan came back. I have a magic talkie box. Captain to Dan, are you coming back?
It's not urgent science mission.
It happens. So, I'm not going to wait for Dan because God knows where he'll be. So, what do you got?
Okay. So, I guess maybe we should start this out with a short, brief little, like, what brought us here kind of deal.
Oh, people have seen the video.
Yeah. Okay. So,
that has been very deeply discussed on the internet.
So, why I'm here today, right now, is because I came across the live streaming video yesterday myself.
Okay.
And I noticed that it was promoting Prime Day, and I understand that it was done as a fundraising effort for the people.
Yes. Amazon Prime donates large amounts of money to lots of nonprofits all over the United States. I don't know if it's a global thing or not, but I know they serve the entire United States.
Like all the time, or just Prime
All the
Day?
time.
Or?
All the time. We've been doing it for years.
Oh, is it the Amazon Smile?
Yep. Yep. That's exactly it. If you go to smile.amazon.com.
I apologize for out of ice, but I've got 2 on ice right now.
I don't.
Smile.amazon.com is Amazon. It's not a different company. It works and feels and behaves exactly the same. They have all the exact same products. Prime works the same, all that jazz. But what they do is if you go to Smile, you sign up. It takes like 30 seconds. And you say, I want to support this charity. And it can be any charity you want. They have to be registered with Amazon. And Amazon vets them to make sure they're a legit 501c3 and they're not stealing bicycles or whatever. And 0.5% of your purchase price, Amazon's money, not yours. They don't like jack the price up. But Amazon takes 0.5% of their profit and donates it to your nonprofit. And you can change it as often as you like. Most people don't. In total, we make about $300 a quarter. It pays quarterly to us. We get about $300 a quarter. So we make about $1,200 a year.
Okay.
Give or take. This is really low key. Okay. But it helps. And we're not a nonprofit operating at the level of like the Cancer Castle up the street where they have leather floors.
Right.
We have an annual operating of our last year's budget. We moved through, I think it was right around 4 million, give or take. But that counts as in-kind donations. In-kind donations are like, if you donate this cell phone, okay, you're going to get a tax write-off of $100. But I can't pay the light bill with this. I can't do anything. You know, we get, because we do science and technology, we get really expensive things donated, but not a lot of cash. Every month, consistently, right now, and it's gotten better. We're doing the best we've ever been. It's really amazing. But every month, we're short the equivalent of the mortgage and the light bill. Those are the two that really kick my ass. That's what keeps me up at night. And our light bill, $4 grand, give or take, $4 grand. We throw lightning around the room, so it's expensive. And you see these lights, there's 280 of those in the building. And it adds up. We're retrofitting them right now to get everything to LED because it'll cut our energy usage on lights in half. But I got to buy the bulbs at $12 a piece. Right. And that's where we're at. The entire staff is volunteer. There's only a couple of us that even get paid, and not much. It is actually a fact that the night manager of Burger King up the street makes more money a year than I do. I make my personal money through other companies. I get nothing here. When we have an opportunity to do a fundraiser for anything, we do stuff that I don't agree with. We do stuff that I don't like. I have to step and fetch and do the dog and pony show all the time. I have to talk in front of crowds that hold very different beliefs than I do. But you play the game. You have to. If you want to be successful in the nonprofit world, unless you're doing kids, puppies, and cancer, you've got to work your butt off to raise money.
And I'll say this, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, you know, from my perspective. However.
But there is. Capitalism by its very nature, because, and I'm a capitalist. Absolutely. By its very nature, and you're seeing this all over the news right now. If I, as a business owner, decide to put on my sign, you know, we hate fags or something like that, the market is going to respond very quickly, and I'm going to be driven out of business in seconds. That's capitalism. If you want to sell something, you have to have.
I don't know that necessarily is just capitalism.
It's humans. It's human, fundamental human nature. If you're a dick, people aren't going to want to deal with you. And a lot of my company is based on acta non verba. That's been a policy we've had for literally decades now. A lot of the nonprofit world is, we're going to do this great big thing, give us money. I do the exact opposite of that. I build the thing and then tell people about it. It's why, right now, nobody, check We Are Westsiders, there's no public mention of the recording studio, the laser lab, the new VSL, the new robotics lab. We have major wholesale flagship areas in this building that you can see right now. I spent my day painting in the recording studio. Nobody knows about it. Would it make my life a million times easier to say, hey, let's do a big fundraiser. I could really use $50,000 to build a recording studio, but I can't do that because you don't build a reputation on what you're going to do. You have to do it. And that's been an operating philosophy here forever. It sucks. It's hard, but I don't run into situations where we do a big fundraiser and raise like $50,000 to do the recording studio, and then consumers says, surprise, you owe us $30,000 this month. That's happened. And then all that money goes away, and now people are like, where's the studio? I donated for this thing, where is it? The only time we do fundraisers is for a real-time, small-scale thing. If I want to change all the lights to LEDs, I'll do a fundraiser and say, you can donate, well, it's $6 a bulb, or $12 a bulb. So we need 2 bulbs, it's $24, figure 25 for our numbers. If you donate $25, it will do 1 light, and I will put your name on the light. And you can walk in and find your light. And we've done this, and it's wonderful. It's people get to come in and they're like, hey, that's my thing. You know, and it's got their name on it. And it's stupid, but it works. And it helps, and everybody wins. I'll do that. But I won't go to somebody and say, give us $50,000 to do all the lights in the room.
I absolutely appreciate that you have a very difficult job, as in trying to find the funds to run such a really different type of organization than people are used to and that
That's our
people
biggest
normally donate to. My concern with it was at the time, and what happened was I literally just got on there and said, don't support Prime Day, don't block the, or don't break the picket line, and I was blocked within like 2 comments that were very just like majorly chill.
Yep.
I wasn't calling anyone a scab at that point or anything like that. I wasn't being aggressive. I just think that people
You
need to
didn't
be
do anything
aware.
wrong. What you did was totally cool, and I support it. I absolutely support unions. I support your right to freedom of assembly. I support your right to protest. I think it's great. I support the workers' rights with Amazon. I have no problem with that. The only thing that you did that where I came into the picture was you brought politics into the middle of a fundraiser, and I get your problem with Amazon, and you and I share a lot of opinions on that, but I have to choose a fight in that, and my fight is I'm fighting to pay the light bill. And I didn't even, this is kind of embarrassing, but you'll enjoy it. I didn't know anything about the workers' strike thing
That was the
at
question
all.
I was going to ask.
Nobody on our staff did until you started railing about it, and then a dozen people started researching things and all went, oh shit, we have a thing.
Hey,
And
if you guys would have just said that right up front,
Can't.
it may not have been
You
a
can't.
problem.
the minute gets, the 3 that we go by are guns, God, and government. I have very strong opinions and beliefs on all 3. And none of my audience knows them. Outside of my personal blog, anything geek group, we don't touch guns, God, and government.
Well, considering that, your staff was very clear that this wasn't even anything occurring in the United States.
It wasn't.
It was in Europe, so that's not government.
Doesn't matter, it's
Nor
politics.
is it guns or God.
It was politics, and as a matter of policy, and this is board level on down, as a matter of policy, anything public facing with a geek group name on it, we don't touch it. We do our shtick. We do a very narrow thing, and we do it very well. And the minute it veers out of that, especially on the internet, because if I make a video talking about nuclear reactors, I get bags of hate mail from conservative Christians. This happened. And so the minute it veers the slightest bit outside of our very narrow scope, delete it. If they come back again, kick ban them. Done. We don't pick the fight. We don't want the fight, because it doesn't matter if I agree with you or not. It doesn't matter if I support your cause or not. I do. But that doesn't matter when it's on our air.
But it didn't come across that way when
you comment on our thing,
to then have the conversation.
oh, it was entertaining.
Well, but that's still.
But we weren't doing the thing for the workers'
conversation.
rights. We were making fun of your kid because it was funny
Which
and it was
isn't funny
entertaining.
because it's not funny.
It's
to
not
make fun
funny
of
to
kids.
you.
Well, it's not funny to make fun of kids.
Depends on the kid.
No,
No, I do this for a living. It depends on the kid and it depends on the situation.
I would disagree.
It depends on the spirit behind it. And
I felt like it was a bit of a malicious spirit behind it.
no, you should see me when I'm malicious. Go back on my Facebook. It's fun.
Well, yeah, with adults. I mean, that's.
No, kids too. If a kid does something dumb, when kids come in here, they don't get a concession for being short and young. I have 12-year-olds that come in here. They get to play with a million things that will kill you the moment you don't respect them. You should see the waiver you signed to be here. We have 5 different insurance companies for this. That's part of the culture here. In this building, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what letters you have after your name. It doesn't matter how rich your daddy is. If you come in here, it's a real place, a real environment. Nothing is kid safe, and it's a place to do real stuff. If your kid wants to come here and play with power tools, I will never say, you can't do that because you're a kid. You might hurt yourself. Ooh, no, I'll teach him how to do it safely, and stupid hurts. And if he drills a hole through his hand, well, he's an idiot who drilled a hole through his hand. We've all done that. We've all screwed up and hurt ourselves. That's part of life in a shop.
So the difference to me, though, is the fact that Ronan spoke out his mind, which he's very opinionated. The kid was.
He's very opinionated, but he couldn't back up his facts.
No, that's not true. He actually.
I called him to task.
He has serious social anxiety.
And I played on that.
He was having a really hard time even.
Absolutely.
But he did that because he was invited to come down here, and he did really try hard to come down. And he didn't articulate his beliefs as well as he would have liked to.
I'm sure.
And as soon as we got in the car, had a million things. He's like, oh, I should.
Yeah, the minute he wasn't in front of a camera and me being very intimidating, because to somebody in that position, I'm intimidating as hell. And I get that. And I absolutely use that to my advantage. I saw a kid standing out inside in front of the building. Anytime a protester shows up here, within reason, anytime a protester shows up here and they're going to protest outside in front of the building, I'm not going to hide in here and call the police and say, can you make the bad people go away? They're making fun of me. No, I'm going to go and talk to the guy. He's got an opinion. He might be right. He might change my mind. It happens. So just a couple of kids out here and I'm like, oh my God, this is fun. And it was the hat. It was the hat that got me.
Oh, he did that on purpose.
Oh, I'm sure he did, but it was just,
He's like, I'm going to wear my Shanka.
And I'm like, you're coming in. And we bring him in, we say, have some need, be on camera, and I gave him instantly a giant megaphone. I did to him exactly what I couldn't do to you. The reason why we have the standing order of if somebody, because I didn't delete your comment, somebody else did long before, I didn't find out about it until well past that. I was putting tape on the walls. When you make comments on our thing, what that does is takes your opinion, which I don't know, I can't control, I can't edit, and doesn't agree with the geek group. Which is why, as a matter of policy, it has to be deleted. Because I can't control it. I don't know what you're going to say next. I don't know what damage you're going to do, and you don't work here. So we delete it, because the minute you talk on my air, even just a comment, you're not being seen by, like, whoever watches your YouTube channel or however many people you have on your Facebook. You're being seen by a lot of people.
Sure.
And I have a very big megaphone.
I can appreciate that.
So I have to cater to my crowd. I have to nurture my resources, and I can't just let anybody steal those. So and it doesn't matter if it's you or if it's some dickhead in Australia who's like, I don't like Boden and your lighting sucks. We get that all the time. You're gone. We tried in the beginning to engage them, to say, well, what are we doing wrong? Because we're like, we're new at this. We're here to learn. Don't do that.
No,
Don't. It hurts every time. So it doesn't matter. Like, you have a valid point. You're not wrong. I just can't let you say that on my air.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter if it's you or anybody else. When your kid walked in the door, he's funny. He's a good kid. He's not stupid, but he's terrified. And
he did articulate himself very well in your
He did
post.
an amazing job given what he was up against. What he wasn't prepared for is you don't pick a fight with a guy who buys ink by the barrel and paper by the ton. He wasn't ready for someone who's a professional public speaker, and it's my job, because he hasn't had the experience of doing press conferences. He hasn't had the experience of 20 years of dealing with hecklers. He's a smart kid, but he's not ready with the toolkit that I bring into that, and I have to, no matter how smart a kid he is, I'm not going to destroy him, I'm not going to make him cry, I didn't do anything mean, but I'm going to make fun of him, because it's funny. And it's what my audience wants.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that.
What I did was say, here's a giant forum, say your piece. And if he had been super articulate, I'd have shut him down in 5 minutes, because he's going to get political and he's going to get ranty, and I'm not going to let it happen. But I'm going to give him a couple minutes to speak his piece, and it's right of free assembly, it's protest, and as long as he doesn't get too off into the weeds, cool, let's just keep on playing. But when I call him to task, in that moment, I know he's terrified, he's not ready for this. He wants it with all of his heart, but he doesn't have the words ready because he didn't have bullet points, he didn't have talking points, he didn't know how to be on message. So what I do is I take this poor scared kid, throw him every curveball I can, while being reasonably nice to him but making him a punchline. I'm going to find every single obvious thing I can see in 10 seconds and make fun of him for it, and then I'm going to send him home. And I was almost done with him when you came in. Like, I was like, okay, I can't, because you can't be too much of a dick to the kid. He's adorable. But he's got a funny hat, and he's barefoot, and I'm going to have fun with this. Because it's funny. And am I being a bit of a dick? Absolutely. It's my shtick. Because it doesn't matter if he's right or not. If I can turn him into a punchline, I can win the argument. It doesn't matter if I agree with him or not. And I did. I have to get a laugh out of it. Because if I don't make that comedy, then it's tragedy. It's easy in that situation to play up, oh, this poor kid, he's got all this, and to make it a fucking sob story. And anybody can do that. And a lot of nonprofits live on it. I wanted to make it funny. I wanted him to have a shot to learn something valuable, because the next time he comes to somebody with something like that, where he's got to stand and deliver, he's going to be prepared. He's going to have notes. They may be inside his funny hat, but he's going to have notes. And he learned things even if you don't realize them. He learned that it doesn't matter how smart you are, people are going to judge you instantly on your appearance. Which is why I'm not sitting here wearing a suit and tie right now. Yeah, but I didn't want to have a debate against somebody who's rallying for the workers of the world to unite while sitting here in a three-piece suit and a $200 tie. That's not going to play well for me. I've spent the day doing what I normally do, and I'm a jeans and t-shirt guy, and everybody who watches my blog knows this, so if I come out in a suit and tie, they're going to laugh at me. My audience is going to turn on me, and you're going to own me in 10 seconds.
Well, and here I am, in a jacket.
You're a professional.
I am a professional, and you know
You're
what?
a worker, though.
I am a worker. I'm absolutely a worker.
Are you union? Do they have a union for that?
No, there is no union that I'm aware of. That
I didn't think there was,
no,
but...
no.
But you're like a federal employee.
I am not. No, I actually work for a private company.
They do that? Oh, okay. I thought like court reporters were like, you know, they work for the court.
No,
yeah.
I actually work in, I travel around to different law offices and do depositions. So no, it's like outside of litigation, you know, like it's mostly civil matters and insurance and things like that. So it's not.
It's gotta be an amazingly boring job.
Yes, it certainly can be. So okay, this is what I don't know. You have your camera going, and I don't know. It's
just a little vlog camera.
Yeah, I don't know what type of audience you have, and what were you going to speak about? Okay, so is this like a geek group? Is this going?
This is an official geek group.
Okay.
You are on our live air right now.
Okay.
That camera over there, and the microphone is right up there, so that you're looking there if you want to talk to the world. And God knows how many people are watching. There's no limitation to it. Like, people don't have to pay to tune in and watch. And any human on Earth with an internet connection can tune in and watch that. We're not limited by bandwidth or anything like that. That's going to go out to the blog, and it's like, it could be 12 people, it could be 1,000 people, I never know. There's no rhyme or reason to it at all.
That's not my concern.
If you start throwing chairs, it's going to be like 20,000 people. But short of that,
keep that in mind, just
yeah.
for funsies. Basically, though, I thought that it would be good if this isn't like geek group, and you say that we agree.
This is just you and me.
Okay, I would love to like maybe have a little discussion about about the Amazon strike and why this is.
Teach me about this.
And, okay.
What's going on?
Okay, so basically, a lot of workers in Europe, actually a number of different areas throughout Europe.
I only heard about Spain, so that's all I know anything about.
Yeah, there are other areas as well, but there's like a group in, I can't remember where now. It's on my head. Poland, maybe, where they were not able to because of certain laws that made it very difficult to strike.
Okay.
So
do they have a union?
Yes.
But they can't strike.
Well, a lot of places it's illegal to strike in the United States. It doesn't stop people from doing it.
It's not much of a union then, is it?
Well, that's kind of
that's
the
kind
issue
of
right now.
What they got.
Well, and they kind of don't even have that anymore. Like, our unions have been eroded so much since when they first were established. But
the problems they face are a lot different than when they were first established. We don't have 10-year-olds working in, cotton mills anymore.
Sure, okay, yes, that type of thing is absolutely true, but when you get to looking at people who are not making a living wage and just the amount of money it takes to, let's say, just rent an apartment here in Grand Rapids.
Oh, yeah.
On the west side, right here on the west side.
Absolutely.
I rent a house here on the west side, and I have a significantly lower rent than the majority of the people around me because my landlords kind of don't want to be landlords anymore, I don't think. They don't pay attention, but with the gentrification that's going on here, rent prices are going up. I just got a fly in the eye. The cost of living is going up significantly, and wages are not.
No, they haven't reflected the cost of living increase in decades.
And, people don't have health insurance that's affordable. People are getting the majority of their health care through going to urgent care centers, the emergency room.
Yeah, it's expensive to be poor.
It is very expensive to be poor, and more people are poor all the time. The wealth inequality in the United States is just, it's like this. It's getting worse.
I understand.
All the time. Yeah. So things like the Amazon strike, the workers there are trying to, they're trying to get better wages, they're trying to get healthcare, better healthcare, and that's what's going on in Europe. However, here in the United States, things are a little more difficult when you want to strike. Because if you strike here in the United States, like, you are going to lose all your health care because it is attached to your job.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
because you get your insurance through your work.
So if you get fired, there you go, there goes your health care.
So you won't strike because you need your health care.
You need your health care,
Okay.
and what are you going to do if you lose your health care? Then, there's a number of reasons why people don't really strike here in the United States, but part of it too is the culture, this like anti-union culture that's going on with everything that's going on with rights.
I'm not very familiar with that because I grew up in the union world.
That's wonderful.
So my dad was a substation technician. He was a locomotive electrician. My dad was an electrician his whole life, and he worked through the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. My grandfather was a foreman for Ellie Myers Electric. He spent his whole life being a lineman. He built the big high-tension power lines. And so I grew up in the climbing union, electrical union world. My great-grandfather was a steeplejack, and he was union. So like that's all I know.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, people very mistakenly believe that I'm a man of considerable wealth or means or something like that. I'm not. I grew up in Coopersville, a quarter-mile away from the county dome.
I'm warm, excuse me.
Take it off. We'll get more viewers. But I'm not a person to take the side of, like, the rich cronyism and all that. It just doesn't work for me.
Right. Well, I don't know if are you familiar with the right to work?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so basically that entails people can get the benefits of unions without having to pay union dues. So then the unions have less and less capital to go on, much like the geek group. And
Okay.
so they are limited in what they're able to do.
Is right to work a good idea or a bad
It's
idea?
a terrible idea.
Why?
Well, because like I was saying,
It erodes unions.
It erodes unions, which
But-
that's the entire purpose of this. It is the entire purpose. It's couched in, this is so that people will be able to gain the benefits of being in a union, but they won't have to pay the dues. And so they're saying it like this is a good thing for workers. But no, it's not, because the unions are being eroded and they don't have the people invested in it that are really like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is the work we need to do. We have to ask for higher wages. We have to ask for better working conditions here. We're working in,
But don't we have-
heat.
Don't we have things like OSHA to establish better, like, when I was a kid, my dad worked for the railroad. The railroads used to be a suicidal place to work. Stupid dangerous. Now, there's so much OSHA that, ask any railroad employee, it's a pain in the ass. They can't do half the things they need to do without violating OSHA in some way.
Well, but then who's checking on this stuff? And if you're going to report your employer, you're going to lose your job most likely, because you know what?
So it's the union's job to fight, to get with OSHA and say, make this work.
Yes, that among many other things. But yeah, I don't know if you actually have heard this, but there have been claims that workers at Amazon factories right here in the United States literally wear adult diapers to work because they are not given even bathroom breaks as appropriately.
There's reports of it, but if that was happening, that would be front page news on CNN in 10 minutes. Amazon be damned, they'll pick a fight with the president, they don't care about Bezos.
Wow, but nobody's going to come out and say, hey, I was the one that said that.
Why not?
Because how easy is it to lose your job in the United States
Yeah,
of
but
America?
the book deal that you're going to get in 30 seconds will easily make up for that.
I don't know about that.
The problem I have with Science Lab, we live on Occam's razor. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Do I believe that it's absolutely possible there are people wearing adult diapers in Amazon facilities because they can't get bathroom breaks or something? Sure, I can see that. I want to see that. I want to see it. I want journalism. I want the story. It's the same problem we have with the flat Earth crowd. There's one really simple, easy way to win the flat Earth argument. If the Earth had an edge, It'd be the biggest tourism attraction on the planet. Instantly. People drive 4 days to go to the middle of the American desert and look at a ditch. And we call it the Grand Canyon. It's a ditch! It's a really big ditch. It's pretty. It's great. It's not worth 4 days' drive. If the Earth had an edge and there was like water spilling, I would go see this.
You'd be capitalizing on it.
Yes! I'd be on the corner selling tickets.
Sure. Let me ask you this, though, because this just popped into my head when you said I need to see the proof. What about when women claim that they've been raped?
No, don't straw man me. I'll eat you alive in 10 seconds.
I'm not straw manning you. I feel like that is a
You are. You just came with the what if.
No.
Don't play that game, because I'll make you my bitch on camera. Don't do that. No, bad people do that. On TV for a living.
No, listen.
It's well, what if the Nazis actually were here today?
Well,
what if Obama is a Muslim? No, don't do that. Bad people do that game. It's a logical fallacy, and I'm not going to play that game.
Okay, so you don't believe anything until you see proof.
Not always, but as a rule, there has to be extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. How skeptical I'm going to be about something is going to be in direct correlation to how outlandish or wild it is.
And you think that's outlandish?
If you tell me you have a headache, I'm going to say, cool, I believe you. If you tell me you've discovered free energy in your glass, we're going to need some paperwork on that, and I want to measure it.
Do you really think it's that outlandish that somebody would be working in a facility, in a factory, that makes as much money that Amazon does and does as much business as Amazon does, where they wouldn't be getting the required breaks that they need?
No, I firmly believe that. That happens here, for God's sake.
So,
I own my own company.
So
I get to only work half days.
Yes.
Pick any 12 hours.
Sure.
Do I believe that's possible? Certainly. But if that story's spread enough that you know it, it's one of two things. It's either an incredible fact with massive amounts of evidence behind it because somebody's documented that because it's going to court, and that person is going to spend the rest of their life very wealthy. Or it's a legend. It's a fucking myth. And the world is full of them. This happens all the time.
Well, yeah, but...
We live in a country where 30% of the people believe angels are real and tangibly affect our daily lives. So, I'm skeptical.
Okay,
I have questions.
I should be skeptical.
It's why I work in this building and not the one across the street.
I understand. I tend to be a skeptic about some things too, but when I'm not a skeptic is when I look at the plight of workers around the world.
Everybody has their cause, but the easiest person to fool is ourselves. And if you read a thing like that...
Sure, but that's not my only damn cause, you know?
No, but with the diaper
all
thing.
sorts of shit.
But like with the diaper thing, did you meet this person?
No, I certainly didn't.
Have you ever, do you have a name to go with this? Do you have a location? Do you have a thing that says, Joe Blow in Wichita, Kansas, at this Amazon facility on Tuesday the 27th said this? And there's pictures.
I don't have that information.
What you have is a very powerful, very emotional story that absolutely is something that should be acted upon. It's something that, especially someone in your position, with your background and your belief system, if they see that, they're like, well, fuck this guy, let's go get in the truck, we're gonna go kick his ass. Sure. And and it's emotional and it's hard-hitting. And it conforms to your entire belief system.
Okay, I have
There's a very big business to be made in writing stories like that. Russia's been doing it for the entire past election.
Okay, so
I'm not saying it's not true, I'm just saying this is the kind of shit where I start asking questions.
Yes, I understand that it could be a false claim.
It might be true, and if it is true, somebody should do something about it.
Sure.
I want somebody in jail for that, and we have laws for that already.
It's just that we don't have the enforcement for it.
But we do. We have whistleblower protection. We have a giant 24-hour news media cycle that is hungry for anything people will get it. If this dude calls his shit-ass local podunk news station and says, I have to wear a diaper to work, what's going to happen? Is he going to get embarrassed for 30 seconds? Yeah. Is anybody on the news going to say, you're an idiot, you shouldn't wear it? No. The entire world instantly is going to pity this person. Somebody's going to give him a book deal. He's going to get a movie of the week. He's going to sue Amazon blind. And the number of people who want a piece of Amazon is way more than just the unions.
Well,
You've got the richest dude on earth. Everybody wants a piece of that pie. I know because people think I'm rich, and I'm not. And the level of rich they think I am is a joke compared to actual rich people. And I got people lining up to take a chunk out of my ass.
Right.
The ACLU would have orgasms in the car driving to save this guy. the unions would line up and have a field day, and you just got the best voting record for the midterms.
Okay, point taken. Let's go to facts.
Okay, hit me with facts.
Okay, I've got some really good facts for you.
I may make you cite sources.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so in Seattle recently,
Okay.
they have been working tirelessly on housing issues.
Yes, and this isn't just Seattle. This is all of Silicon
No,
Valley.
but this is a very specific instance with Seattle because the city had passed. They had decided that they were going to impose a head tax, which was
What's
something
a
head tax on. Gosh, I wish I remembered. I don't have a head for number. I can't remember the number of employees, but it was on corporations with over a certain very large number of employees. They would be charged a tax based on that number of people.
It's 50 here. And the line for like when a lot of legal things change is when you have 50 full-time employees, you got to do all kinds of different stuff.
Sure, no, and I mean, I'm not saying that they have to
Yeah, I'm
follow
sure it's
different
different
regulations.
there,
This is actually, you have to pay the city this much money. And what the city was going to do with that was then build housing, it was homeless facility, not house.
Like Section 8 stuff?
I think in that vein,
Reduced
but probably
cost
better,
housing stuff?
Yeah, but I think
Okay.
it was to reduce homelessness. That was the only purpose that was going to be used for.
Okay. What's the problem?
Amazon threw a shit fit. So the city commission passed this, and Amazon threw a shit fit because they were building then, they were constructing a new facility there. And they said, if you do this, you're not going to come here.
Okay.
And so they halted construction.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because they can't afford to pay the tax?
No. Because they have the right to choose. It's a private business.
Well, I'm
And
not disputing their right.
Well, if they come to a city and the city says, we're going to tax you blind on this thing, and they probably weren't, it was probably a knucklehead level tax.
Yeah. Small
But if it's the right of the free market to say, I'm going to take my ball and go home.
No, this is exactly what we're arguing here. This is why I have a huge issue with our entire free market capitalist system. It's fucked up and it's rigged. It's not
rigged. If I want to build, like, I would love to have a Geek Group facility in Grand Haven. If I wanted to put a lab in Grand Haven, and Grand Haven said, we're going to tax you on irrationally, I get to choose what irrational is. I get to choose that. I get to say, this is an acceptable cost, or this isn't.
Right.
It may be that I'm having a bad day or just being a dick and saying, well, I'm not going to pay your bullshit tax. I'm going to go build it in Hudsonville instead.
Sure, of course that's your right, but you are
I've
also
experienced this
a working
personally.
class person. This is a hugely different thing than the richest fucking man in the world.
Yeah, he's being a dick about it, but he has the right to be a dick.
I know, but okay, that's what I'm saying. This is why we should be supporting the workers' strike. This is why, during that period of time, we should show our solidarity and say, yeah, you know what? Fuck you, Amazon.
I can't support the strike for that one reason. I can support the strike for the plight of the worker. I can support the strike for
what the strike was about.
workers' rights and all
I'm
that.
just stacking up
I'm a guy.
Amazon because this is not a good company. This is not somebody.
Every company in the world has shit against it.
I do. Agree with you.
You get on the internet, you'll find pages of people who hate me for one reason or another. I created a new one yesterday. But that's any company. Everybody's got shit in their closet. Everybody's been a dick. Everybody's fired an employee who's got an axe to grind.
I understand that. However, these are concrete solutions that cities are coming up with, that they are trying to conquer problems like homelessness and housing issues. These are things that I believe that the rich, that corporations, who are not people, should definitely be taxed on at a much higher rate than working class people. 100%, I think it should be law. I think we should be supporting those laws.
Hang on a minute. I got a question for you. Let's say I make, not super rich, but let's say I make $350,000 a year, give or take, okay? That's about 10 times what, a good person, a very well-off West Sider would make. The average West Sider does not make $35,000 a year, okay? Let's say it's about 20 times, okay? Let's say my taxes are 20 times what average West Sider is. Is the fire department coming to my house 20 times faster? Is the water that comes out of my tap 20 times colder and cleaner? No. Why should I pay 20 times the taxes than you do? I don't. How is that fair?
You're afforded all of these.
All the same ones you are?
Well, no. You're talking about rights. I'm talking about extravagances that are afforded to you by
I get extravagant water?
money. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying basic necessities. Those things should be free, in my opinion. Healthcare, water, fire department, everything that we experience.
You have to tax for them. You can't get them for free because they cost a lot of money. But I'm with you.
Okay, so we're arguing semantics on that type of thing.
No,
I'm happy to pay my taxes.
Okay.
I absolutely.
But you want the rich guy to pay a lot more taxes.
Yes.
I'm not a rich guy. I'm way more on your side of this. But I have to do a little devil's advocate because I own a
figured
company.
that was coming.
And the Geek Group was once based in Kalamazoo.
I remember that. My ex-husband did plumbing in there, actually.
Really?
It's my ex-husband now, but at the
At
time.
our old lab or something? Oh, cool!
Yeah.
Okay, that's neat. We were located in Kalamazoo. For a decade, we were located in Kalamazoo. The Geek Group has very strong roots there. I had a house, that same house I lived in for 10 years. It was great. I loved the city of Kalamazoo. The city of Kalamazoo and surrounding area used to have the 7 sisters, 7 paper mills. Fox River, Allied Paper, Georgia Pacific, there were 7 of them. Over the course of about a decade, decade and a half, before I went there, like I just missed the last one. They all went out of business. The last one to go was, I think, Parchment, but I could be wrong on it. Average size paper mill, Parchment was a little one, had 3,000 employees, like 3,500 people worked there. And these are blue collar, salt of the earth, working class, West Sider dudes, right?
Yeah.
3,500 people lost their job in just that mill. 7 mills. This is a lot of people. The city died. And anybody who lived in Kazoo through that time knows it. They came out with every stopgap bullshit thing. They came out with the Kalamazoo Promise. If your kid moves to Kalamazoo, if you raise a family here, we will put your kid through college for free. Whole college education for free. Didn't really take off. During this time, I had a lab in Kalamazoo Township. Not in the city, out in the township. We were out on North Burdick, out by Mazda. Okay?
I lived on Boden.
Cool. Okay, you probably know the building. Shitty little building out on north end of town. Nobody wanted. Old abandoned ink factory. We cleaned it up. They donated the building. We owned it free and clear. It was our building. It was donated. I owned the building. No mortgage, no rent, no nothing. As a 501c3, we're a federally certified nonprofit. It took me 6 months, 3 lawyers, and a pile of money just to earn that piece of paper. And I have to fight for it every day. It's why we can't talk about politics on our air, because it violates our 501c3. That magic little piece of paper means that I'm liable for income tax. Okay, if I give Batman a paycheck, we have to pay income tax on it. I pay taxes, he pays taxes, do our part for the man. But we're not liable for property taxes and a million other things. We get a break because we serve the public good. That's our job. We make that kid's world a better place just by being here. The Township of Kalamazoo, who has a tax code that I deeply want you to read, because you are the right person to read that, and I want you to have, just read it, because I know everything that happens after, and you're going to do good things for America. They have a tax code that allowed them to arbitrarily decide that we weren't tax exempt at the township level, and they could start assessing county and township level property taxes. Our income at that point wasn't $4 million a year. Our income at that point was about $120,000 a year. And it was like 4 of us running that whole building, and it was hell. And the Township of Kalamazoo said, in year 4, you owe us property taxes. We're assessing them. And you owe us retroactively since you got the building. So not just this year, you're 4 years behind, kiddo. They didn't, at any point, send the tax assessor to our building to like walk around with a clipboard and say, well, that's that, and that's that, that. No. They didn't send an assessor to get the value of our real estate. They went through newspaper clippings. They admitted this to my face. They went through all the news articles about us of, Geek Group gets a big, awesome new robot. Okay, we got a big, awesome new robot. It was donated by a company out in Detroit. The company in Detroit wrote that robot off for like 50 grand. Okay, it's a big robot. So to them, to the IRS, it was a $50,000 robot. The robot was a very special robot. It was a prototype. It was handmade by German gnomes in Augsburg. And there was only 2 of them of that robot ever made because it never went into production. So this isn't like one of 100 million robots made in a factory. It was handmade by Hans, okay? It was a thing. It cost the company, we went through the paper trail, $1.25 million to make it, okay? So it's a $1.2 million robot. To the guy that donated it, it's a $50,000 robot. To the IRS, it's a $50,000 robot. To the scrapyard, it's about $1,000 worth of aluminum. But when I'm talking to the newspaper and have to be impressive, I have a piece of paper that says it cost $1.2 million to make that robot, so you can bet your ass, check out our brand new $1.2 million beautiful robot. Ignore the fact that it's 20 years old. It's a $1.2 million. Right. So the county, when you read the paper, Boden got $1 million robot! Shit! We're going to get a piece of that. They assessed property taxes on us that exceeded our entire annual operating budget. They taxed us so hard we lost the building. The building that we owned outright, the township just said, that's ours now. We're going to sell it for the money you owe us. They sold it for more than we owed them and got to keep the change. And I still had to pay them the other side of it.
What?
After losing my building, shutting the company down, moving to Grand Rapids, we didn't have a lab for a year. We worked out of a 4-bedroom house over on Rosewood. 4 or 5 years after getting this building and being completely up and running, we were still in a position that if I didn't send them their $1,460, I still remember, $1,460 every fucking month, they could walk up here. Kalamazoo Township had the legal authority to come here, put a big orange sticker on my front door, and instantly own everything in the building that they can auction off to pay whatever they want, and they get to keep the change. So after selling our first building.
Clearly unfair.
So, ask me my opinion of taxation from the man in ways that are unfair to business owners. Because
Understood.
I've got a fucked up perspective on that.
And I think that...
And through all of this, I get hate on the internet from everybody who says, Chris Boden got run out of Kalamazoo for tax evasion.
Oh, lovely.
At no point did we evade taxes. I paid every single bill on time, and I ate so much shit for doing it. There's video, like this.
Like ramen noodles?
This actually got picked up by NPR. Wow. Not local, like NPR ran a story on this. Nobody cared. Nobody cares. They didn't do this to just us. They arbitrarily decided that there was a solar farm that just went away because he couldn't fight it. Everybody who they went up against just said, okay, and they either rolled over and paid it or they went out of business. At no point did they take any non-profit religious organizations and pick a fight with them.
Shocking.
They didn't go to the churches and say, hey, all you guys, you got to pay too.
You got some big churches in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, you don't do that. Not in Southwest Michigan.
So, okay, I absolutely think you got a shit deal on that.
So, but because of that, I'm going to have perspectives that you're not going to agree with, even though we're on the same side on a lot of things. And I wanted you to know where I was coming from.
But it's not that we're not going to agree on things. There's a huge difference between small businesses, whether they're a nonprofit business organization
sure.
or they're a small business. It's a huge difference between that and a giant corporation that makes billions of dollars.
Yes, but the fundamental difference between the quick change lube place across the street and Amazon that has billions of dollars is Amazon has the best lawyers that money can buy.
Right.
And the best congressmen that money can buy.
That's what I was saying when I said you have all these things that are afforded to you by being rich. Those are the things I'm talking about.
You get to own congressmen.
Yes.
You can buy them now.
Yes.
And it's legal.
Yes.
It's not right.
No.
I'm certainly on your side of Citizens United. I believe in the freedom of speech. I believe in limitations in certain instances, very specific instances on the freedom of speech. I think it should be a violation of federal law that if you report the news, it should be a violation of federal law for you to knowingly and willfully lie. And we have companies built on that right now, and they're affecting our elections. I believe in an educated, informed electorate. I believe that we should not have dark money in Congress. I believe that we should have money out of fucking politics.
Yeah.
But it isn't enough that I believe it. That isn't going to do anything. I have to vote. And I do. And if I vote, you vote, Batman votes, maybe we can make a difference. But are we
Probably
really?
not, because gerrymandering and shit like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing now. They're working on it. It's getting better.
I know.
Tiny,
I signed a
tiny
petition.
steps, man. It's getting better.
Yeah,
But
I know.
how much is it really getting better?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It's like these small struggles. You know, we talk about those small struggles, the little steps we can take, because we can only do so much. We're the little guy. And so those little steps, like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go what was it, 1 week, 2 weeks, the Amazon was on strike, and I'm not going to use any Amazon products during that time in a show of solidarity, and just to show them, hey, your bottom line took a hit, because we do care, we are watching, and this is Bug's Life, motherfucker. Have you seen that movie?
To be fair, during the entire Amazon thing we did here, well, once I learned about the protest and all that, and you can look at my public Amazon history and verify this, I did not personally order a single thing from Amazon through the entire thing.
But you also didn't know what was happening.
I didn't know it was happening, but, and here's the other side of that, I couldn't order a single thing from Amazon through the entire thing. My Amazon account ships to this address, and because we were involved in a fundraiser, we're not allowed to buy anything through the fundraiser thing because it's cheating the system. We're getting our own discount, that's not okay. And Amazon will yell at you for that and can ban your account. So no Amazon orders were shipped to this building from our account through the entire thing. We just shut it all down. And it was for this 1 day. Well, it was 36 hours or something like that. Well, but for the entire thing, I did not support Amazon, so I got that going.
You know, and here's the thing. I recently canceled my Prime account. I'm not saying that I haven't used Amazon, and I think they're a shitty company, but like I said, no ethical consumption under capitalism. I don't have a lot of money.
But there is.
Nah, I disagree. Because it's a...
Then why do we have a grocery store full of fair trade, hoopla, vegan, warm, fuzzy, crystal hippie bullshit?
That's not ethical. I could dig into all the shit on that too and tell you why Whole Foods is bullshit, also owned by Amazon.
Also owned by Amazon. But as a consumer,
because that is a marketing ploy.
It's a marketing ploy, absolutely. But as a consumer, people care. Now, whether or not unscrupulous bad actors are manipulating that, because I'm a farm kid, okay? When you walk in and see, like, organic wheat, I'm like, it's fucking wheat. It's all organic. There is no synthetic wheat. You're not going to find that here. It's organic, okay? Not organic, okay? But when, as a farm kid, I see this stuff, and I'm like, you're being sold a bill of goods. It's stupid.
I grew up in a farming community
but
as well.
There are people who, and they're local, they exist, you'll find them at the farmer's market, who, god damn it, they grow their organic strawberries because it was done in a guy's backyard, and there was no, you know, and these are the people that are all pissed off about Monsanto without having any idea what the hell Monsanto actually does or how tiny a company they really are.
However, they have been doing some really fucked up shit.
They have done some fucked up shit.
Hybrid seeds that can't then be collected and replanted, so that you have to buy more of them.
That's true of a lot of things. Do you like oranges?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, I understand.
There's a lot of things that are grown sterile. You've only ever eaten one banana in your whole life.
This is a new thing that, no, I understand that. I understand exactly what you're saying.
But like the people that care.
GMOs are not the issue.
But the people that really care have the ability, because of a free market society, to say, I want to make a product that is better. And there are companies that do this. Ben & Jerry's is a really good example. Okay, they are super hippie. They make a good product, they market it well, it's quality, and people buy it. I buy it. Okay. Then there's companies like Haagen-Dazs, which is a very expensive, high-end, super exotic imported ice cream. But it's not. It's made in New Jersey. Haagen-Dazs is an American company. Nobody knows this because marketing. And because of a free market, we have the ability to ask questions, demand evidence, do our own research, and buy the things we want. And if we disagree with them, just like you did with Amazon, if we disagree with them, we have the right to choose and say, well, I'm not going to support this company.
That's absolutely true. And you know what? I've been boycotting Nestle for over a decade.
That's not a bad idea.
For a long time.
Especially if you live in Michigan.
Yeah, well before the water stuff, I've known about all sorts of shitty things.
Oh, they've done shitty things going back like 100 years.
And they own damn near every...
I don't boycott Nestle. I drink their water because I figure it's coming from Michigan anyway, and I like Kit Kats. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you have to... But we get to choose. I get to choose. Am I pissed enough at Nestle to not eat a Kit Kat?
Yeah.
There's a point in that where you can stand up for your ideals and have principles, and there's a point where you can take the Jewish shrug and just...
Well, there's also a point when you have to realize, like, am I killing myself trying to meet all of these goals that are completely
And that's the thing.
And you know, this is like, I'm going to fully admit it, you might not know this about me, but I'm an activist, shockingly.
No shit!
Activist burnout is real.
Oh, absolutely.
It is fucking real.
Non-profit burnout is real.
Oh,
yeah, all right.
It's very similar.
That's why I have model airplanes.
Yeah, I am involved with Socialist Alternative. I'm on the branch committee here in Grand Rapids, so that's 2 nights of my week that is taken up by my political organization that I meet with twice a week.
Okay.
This is very important to me. But I'm also doing all sorts of other things that take up a lot of time and energy.
Here's the crux of the whole thing. You believe in freedom of choice. Okay? You do, and I know it.
Yes.
It's okay for you to have your beliefs, and it's okay for me to have my beliefs. And as long as you don't cross the line of a danger to yourself or others, as long as your beliefs aren't going to, like, you know, set you on fire in the middle of my building, you're fine. You cannot have, you can believe that vaccines cause autism, and that's fine. But when you choose not to vaccinate your kids and you want to put them in a public school, now I have a problem. I don't care if you want to kill yourself with your own beliefs. That's your thing. Knock yourself out. But when it becomes a problem for somebody else, I have a problem. Because that somebody else might be me.
Since you're saying this, that's exactly what my problem is with capitalism. Because if you look at our...
Now hang on.
The quality of life...
Because we're not there yet. I've still got the punchline.
Okay, I'm sorry. Please finish your thought and then I will jump in.
By all means. You having your particular beliefs is cool. But the minute you force those beliefs on me, if I disagree with them or agree with them, doesn't matter. The minute you force me to conform to your belief system, we've just destroyed American society. At its fundamental level. Because it doesn't matter that the entire country was founded by rich white men who didn't want to go to church. What matters is they wrote this really cool piece of paper that says, you get to do you, and I get to do me, and as long as we're not fucking with each other, we're okay. And we found out a nice codified set of rules for what exactly is fucking with each other. And as long as we agree to those rules, we're cool. And if we don't like those rules, we can change them, but we have to agree together on how to change them. And it's a messy, shitty, terrible, complicated process that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be hard to change the law, because it's the law. And the higher up and more important that law is, the harder it is to change. Up to a really stupid piece of outdated paper that's really hard to change, because without it, we're doomed.
Okay, so that was a really impassioned speech.
It's true, though.
But
You can
here's
believe
the
whatever
thing,
you want
it's so
until you come...
idealistic. It's so idealistic, Chris, because...
It absolutely is. This is Mom and Apple Pie Boy Scout
That's why
shit.
I'm like, aw.
I'm with you.
If only. Because the way I look at it is, these huge, billion-dollar corporations...
They get to buy it and do whatever the hell they
are
want.
imposing their beliefs on us as the lower income workers, the workers of the world, and we have no power against them whatsoever, and it is affecting our quality of life. People die because they don't have health insurance.
Yes.
That man who had, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, had a GoFundMe to get his insulin.
Yeah.
And died in the United States of America.
Oh, he's nothing. That's in the noise floor. There's 1,000 people with shit like
Oh
that.
God, all the
In
time.
Grand Rapids.
Oh yeah. People die behind
This is the
dumpsters
West
in
Side,
Grand
where
Rapids.
I got the disability is like a full-time job around here.
Well, I mean, it's really discouraging when we see that these companies can get away with damn near anything to be taking advantage of the workers on such an extreme level that you could be working 40+ hours a week and still have to be on government assistance.
If only there was
While these
organizations
companies
like...
don't pay taxes.
If only there was organizations like the American Civil Liberties Union and, you know, lawyers, normal lawyers, not big important lawyers, but like, you know, your local public defender dude.
Well, there's the National Lawyers Guild.
Hey, there's a few of them. Maybe if there was only a thing like the Michigan Bar Association, it requires every single lawyer to donate their services for X hours a week, doing specific stuff like this, pro bono. I know that world way more than I wish to admit. And by the way, if you want to do something to help, this is something nobody ever thinks of. When Grandpa dies and he's got all his suits left over, you can donate suits to your local public defender's office that they will give to people going in getting defended. Like guys, so they don't have to sit there in an orange jumpsuit and automatically become guilty without me. You can donate old suits to your local public defender's office, and you should do this. Nobody knows about that. They give them to Goodwill. But you're not the only person with those beliefs. There's a lot of them. There's huge organizations. There's Southern Poverty Law Center. There's American Civil Liberties Union. Like, there's a million organizations like this doing things and making change.
We don't have the money that
really?
they have. Well, in some respects,
really?
there's some money.
Have you ever
we don't have Jeff Bezos money.
Nobody has Jeff Bezos money.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
okay, so there's a point where it doesn't matter. If you get enough people together, it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Yeah, Bugs Life.
Yes, I love that you use that.
It's the best Pixar
so
movie ever.
But you're not the only person who thinks like that. Smart people think like you do. So do some stupid ones. But there's a lot of them. You're not alone in this. Activism is not a niche industry. It's actually a form of tourism for some people now.
Yeah.
Okay, your kid being one of them. He's a good kid, but he's not quite there yet. But there's enough people that hold your beliefs. There's enough money for the people that hold your beliefs. Okay, the idea of a woman president just got funded with hundreds of millions of dollars for somebody who was fundamentally unelectable. Hundreds of millions of dollars for a throwaway bullshit thing. It's a presidential election. We're going to do it one time. We're going to piss away millions of dollars that could have been put to much better use. And then we're going to start it all over again.
Right.
Maybe we'll do better this time. But this happens. It isn't an impossible fight. It doesn't matter how much money Jeff Bezos has. He's not spending it all on Congress.
No, he's just...
And I'm
there's no way he'll ever
certain
fucking spend the amount of money he has. But that's what I'm saying. This is the kind of, like, completely out of control greed that it's like, why do you even want that money?
He didn't.
Well, then what are you fucking doing with it? I mean, like...
You know what Warren Buffett's doing right now, right? Do you know who Warren Buffett is?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Please enlighten me as to what he's doing at this very moment.
He's working diligently at this very moment to die broke. He's one of the wealthiest men in the world. He's giving billions of dollars, like fucking cubic truckloads of money, to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation because he was broke. And, but he's giving it all away to nonprofits, to charities, to things that actually do good work. Like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they're sorting out that whole tiny problem of malaria and cholera and things like that. They're saving millions and millions of lives.
But god damn it, why don't they just cut out the fucking middleman and pay their workers a livable fucking wage?
Do you know how much...
It's so simple, like just pay the workers, god damn it.
You know where Warren Buffett works, right? He owns a couple little companies. You'll see their signs around for real estate. If you're working for Warren Buffett, you're probably one of the people you're railing against, as a rule.
Right.
Okay. He makes money.
I'm
but there's a
definitely
point
talking
where,
in generalities
yeah, I get
here
it.
about
But
what generally...
once you cross a certain line of... Once you're in the billionaire club class, it's really easy to have your money make money. Once you cross a certain line, it's very expensive to be poor, but it's very cheap to be rich. And if you had $1 million right now that you didn't need to fuck with, that you could just put away, I can make a phone call to one dude and show you how to make that $1 million grow impressively fast. And the more money you have, the bigger it grows because it's exponential. And this isn't just like really esoteric stuff like Bitcoin, where it's like, okay, watch this. If you had this much money at this point, you know. And buy Bitcoin, you will like that.
No, I won't.
Given your philosophy towards government control of money and things like that, don't spend any money on Bitcoin. I'm going to send you some links. I want you to just watch a couple guys talk and learn some basic fundamental stuff because you don't know anything about Bitcoin. And I know this because nobody really knows
I don't
much
even
about
own
it.
a credit card.
Okay. Bitcoin is going to make your little socialist heart to pitter-patter. You're going to love it. You're going to share it with a lot of your friends.
I know a little bit about Bitcoin. But...
The entire philosophy of Bitcoin is basically fuck banks. Bitcoin is based on let's get rid of the middleman. Let's get rid of centralized control and the Treasury and the Fed and all of that, and it's about you and me and exchange of goods, person to person. And that whole thing, I can bury you in this, but I'm not going to talk about that for an hour.
But anyhow, like, how hard is it, seriously, for these billionaires to pay their workers?
Depends. It depends. No, it
I'm
really
talking
depends.
about these huge corporations that have...
Which have lots and lots of employees, and maybe it's
pay,
expensive.
like, no taxes.
Okay, look at GM. GM, huge employee workforce, very well paid, one of the strongest unions on earth, okay, and it's killing them.
Well, do we remember the bailouts?
Oh!
Do we want to talk about that?
I don't want to, I need to eat dinner at some point. We're coming up upon our time, and I can only yell so much.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
I have opinions, and I'm really sure that your opinion and my opinion on the bailouts, we're there. We don't have to fight about that. That's just you and me yelling at the air for an hour. Yeah.
Right. So.
Do you feel better?
I do feel better.
Do
Yeah.
you realize that I'm not evil?
I don't know.
Tiny evil. Tiny evil.
I still think that it would be beneficial in the future to pay attention to things like worker strikes and that kind of thing.
Send me stuff on it.
Okay, I will do that.
I'll read anything you send me.
Okay.
I read lots of things. I like to read. If shit's happening, if somebody's getting shit on by a bully, send me a thing. I might talk about it in my blog. I might do a bit on it. You teach me, I'll read it. Absolutely anything you say. I might not agree with it.
Which is fine.
I might mock you for it, but I'll read everything you send me. If it's something that I feel impassioned about, I'll talk about it. And I'll talk about it in front of the camera.
That's cool. You have a platform, and I think I can appreciate
but
that.
I don't do politics. I'll do human rights. I'm cool with that. I'll
Okay.
pick fights with bullies, but I don't do politics.
Well, I understand that there was a reason for that now, and it makes more sense now that we have calmly sat down and are not either one of us being reactionary about
Okay.
it.
I do have one very important question for you. Where do I get one of those hats?
Amazon.
And that's our close. That's... Oh my God. Thank you, love. You are awesome. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the talk.
Amazon. That's the best answer.